Welcome back to the channel. Well, you know what time it is. Another day, another dollar. And here we're on the race car. I recorded some stuff the other night. Y'all ain't seen. Sorry about the noise. We got the heat going, so it's gonna be a little bit loud in here. So I done pulled the rear and I videoed all that the other night, but I realized that on my GoPro, it didn't record. It recorded audio, but the angle at which the camera was like this while I was videoing. It just wasn't in the right angle, so I'm gonna get under here and start taking the torque boxes out. Look at the wheel. Wow, look at that thing looking good. Everything's looking pretty nice, I ain't gonna lie. So I'm gonna get underneath here and we're gonna cut. I'm gonna get up in here. Let me get up in here right quick. I'm just gonna come in here and cut what's left of the back floor out of the car up to here and get them torque boxes out, because really I don't have no use for the floor here. It pieces together right there. The torque box is right here below here, and the torque box honestly is welded in, so it's gonna be a pain in the butt. So I'm just gonna come through and cut it here, and I'll rebuild this back floor, which will be easier than anything else. So let's get this intercooler out. Got to drain the water out and get the intercooler out of it, or get the cooler out of it. I'm gonna redo that anyway. We're gonna build a new mount for it this year and redo it. So let me get up in here where I can get some room and get to work. Now there's where it's separating from the car not having subframe connectors. So I'm gonna beat that wall back a little bit, and then I'm gonna turn around and start cutting this floor out. All right, so I got the cooler removed and I started cutting the floor out. We're gonna cut it all the way up across. We're gonna leave the tops of the frame rail pieces here across and just take out this section here to rebuild. All right, well, we're getting there. I went ahead, I've done cut through the torque box up here. I went ahead and cut through my anti-roll bar and went ahead and split it piece right here so I can pull it out, because I am planning on upgrading the anti-roll bar in the car. This anti-roll bar didn't do much, so I plan on putting a thicker one in on it. So continue to keep cutting. We're getting there though. Just keep having to cut it to get it to where I want it. And I'm gonna show y'all this. So a couple of well-placed cuts. If you look like this right here, I'm gonna cut it right along the seam there. I'm gonna split that along that seam, and then I'm gonna cut it that way. See, like I've done right here. This allows this stuff to flex. Just so there is spot welds up in there on a Fox body. It's easier to take the back floor out than it is to drill all these rivets. If you drill all these rivets here, yeah, you can keep the stock floor, but what are you really saving? The stock floor really, by the time you drill all these welds and you bend and you flex and you bend and you flex, that stock floor ain't gonna be too good looking anyway after you get all the rivet holes out of it and all. It's gonna have all kind of holes stuff. It's just better off to come in here and cut it. I split this all the way over to the edge to get this one, and then I'm gonna burn that lip back in. I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna weld this in down through here, spot it, and cap the top of that frame rail. But what are you really saving here? It's easier for me to take a piece of metal, build me a new piece for here, and just put a flat sheet here like I've already done up here anyway. It's a drag car, it don't matter. So like I said, I'm gonna get up in here and knock these, knock them off the rails. I'll come back, I'll take my grinder, I'll grind this, get these little pieces off. I'm gonna put a new anti-roll bar in it, so there ain't no problem with that. We're taking it out. I'm gonna take this lip here, and where I have my anti-roll bar come through, I'm gonna go ahead and just split this here and there, and split it right across here. And that way I can turn around and when I'm at my new anti-roll bar, I'm mount it on top. I'll just drop it down to these holes. So that's what the plan is. So let's go and get this stuff pulled on out. It's like biology. Look, you just gotta dissect that frog. In this case, you gotta dissect this horse, this Mustang. You gotta take little pieces out here and there, come around, cut, until you get it the way you want it. All right, well, I got it down this far. I'm gonna get me a cutoff wheel, cut that old nasty weld I put on there off. Cut this loose, cut that loose. Now come over here and cut some of this crap out. Grind it, finish getting the floor cleaned up, trimmed up. But we're getting there. We almost got these uppers out to put the new one in. Won't be too bad, and then we'll step on over to the lower. I'm gonna get some cutoff wheels or some flap wheels. See if I can clean up all this crap today. I can only imagine trying to get all this stuff out without tearing the floor out of it. I'm sure guys worked their butt off. I got finished flat wheeling this. A couple little spots right here. Get it right. Then got that one cleaned up. I'm gonna weld that. I cut a little bit. It ain't even deep, but it's still deeper than I want. So I'm gonna weld that up, that one. Grind this, clean all this up right here. We're getting there. Got that side all clean. Now we gotta get over here and jump on this side right here. Get all that off. All right, after going through and getting that top one out, I still ain't done the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, so I'm just butchering it. I'm gonna keep cutting it down and keep working on it. There's some rivets right here, so I'm gonna take this right here and keep bending it. I'll get it broke loose right here at the rivets. I'll break this one right here loose at the rivets. I'll cut it down. I'll have to, where somebody welded, I'll have to grind this out. And I had put this one brace kit in, and I never finished installing the rest of them, so I gotta go ahead and pull it out of the way. I'm trying to keep this tub right here from tearing up the floor pan. I'm trying to leave it as, because it's already cut and it's already solid, it don't look bad. So I'd rather just go on and cut it. So if I have to, I'll get up in here and cut this along the edge. I'm gonna split this out through here, right here, get this off, split it, flip that piece down. Then I'll come up here and get this piece right here out. And like I said, just dissect it. You can't mess it up, cut the big stuff out your way so you can get the little stuff. All right, as you can tell, I got it cut on down. Still gotta cut that off. Still gotta get this bracket off here and this one here. But if you look now, I'm gonna take my flap wheel, I'm gonna go ahead and grind this flat. Get the spot weld off, you get that flattened out. I'm gonna have window to square this off a little bit. I'm gonna finish hitting it with the grinder to flatten it up. I said now come over here and get on this thing, get this off. We're getting there. All right, so I got all this cleaned up the way I want it. In here. I didn't worry nothing about this piece here. I figured it adds strength to the floor. So I just grind the lip off on it. I got all this super smooth in here. Now we can start taking the plate. We get the plate. Bring it. I gotta measure and start looking about where to fit it at. We'll get it. All right, so you got your plate over here. It mounted at, that's where that line is right there. This hole here comes 12 inches off of that post right there, 12 inches back. So I went ahead and windowed it out real good. That way we get bolts around it where I want it, because we're plating this side. And then what I'll do, I'll come from the other side, I'll see where my holes are. I won't window it out as much. I'm gonna do this a little bit different. Instead of just welding the plate in, which I'm gonna weld that plate in all the way around it, I'm gonna go ahead and get all this fitted up with a bolt. Go ahead and spot all this stuff, fit it in up there, then I'll burn it all in. I said they put a line out here for you to let you know what it does, how you do it, you know? Not too bad. I went ahead and got it all welded up, cleaned the slag off of it, that way I could turn around and paint it. I'm gonna get it put in, get that bolt pulled out. We'll get it painted real quick, it won't look too bad. All right, I got it up in there. So you wanna measure from here to here and put that 12 inches on center to that bolt right there. So now I got it spotted, I can go ahead and burn it all in and then put my bracing out here on it. All right, now this is what it looks like before I paint it. Went ahead and trim my bar, went ahead and welded it in, put a plate on this side, weld the bar in as far as I can get it, weld that, weld the plugs up. So we're getting there. All right, as the smoke clears, just got done throwing some paint on it, letting it dry a little bit. It'll be decent once it dries flat. So I went ahead and cut this window out right here so I can get all the bolts like I'm supposed to. And I went ahead, went up in here and I burned it so I could get my my welder up in there. I went ahead and just burned all that in. You know, I ain't no professional welder. It ain't pretty. I can't clean it up like I can the other stuff. While I was at it, I went ahead and took the seam right here on the floor and I burned it all the way in around it. That way the floor, it'll cap the top of this frame rail off. I mean, it's just rivets, there's holes there, but I still figure it would make it a little stronger all up here by welding it in. Like I said, it ain't bad. I need to get up here and knock some of that slag out so I can paint it. All right, I got this frame rail welded that little spot up. Now I'm gonna get my upper, stick it in. See where I went ahead and welded that along the seam like I did the other side. So let's get the upper in and stick it in and see what it looks like. I will say, it's a super nice tight fit. Tell me that thing don't look mean up in there. It's gonna look good. So I was looking, our top, basically our normal bolt is about right, this height right here, that area there. It's gonna have all these for separation. Now what I'll do, see, so you try getting it all the way up in here as far as you can. And then for me, since I want a little more separation, I'm gonna try putting it right here at the very edge of this. And I'm gonna knock this down at the very edge of this. I'm gonna level it up to the car. I'm gonna check frame rail to frame rail. And I'm gonna make sure this is square to the car, and then I can burn it in. It's looking good though, come along. All right, well, we're going to end the video right here. That's the upper welded in. That's the lower. I still got to do that lower, but I'll do that myself. I won't put it on video. I just want to show y'all the process installing these, how easy it is to install all this Pro Chassis and Fab stuff. Real simple, real easy. Not bad. I mean, I ain't got nothing but a little Lowe's welder, flux core. And like I said, this will do just fine for what I need. The paint's still drying on it. Some of the welds turned out pretty decent. Some of them's okay. Some of them's bubble gum, but it'll be all right. We're gonna add some bracing from, we're gonna come up in here. I'm gonna take it to Nigel's. I'm gonna run some bracing from here to the bars there. And I'm gonna cut a hole right here, a little bigger. And I'm gonna tie that into that lower bar. So like I said, all this is gonna be tied in from here to that lower one, and then that one to the upper seatbelt bar. We're gonna tie all that stuff in and brace it in and make it a little stronger than it ever was. I went ahead and welded up that frame piece over there that was that where it was cracking through. I welded that up, so I gotta put some paint on it. Like I said, I'm gonna get over there and do that later on tonight. But anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you one later. Thank you.